It's been 7 days since a video, so yes, it has been a long time. Progress Review coming up tomorrow. Their show is going to be airing live, and I'll be able to watch it, so I'll have that review up. And I feel like we need to talk about this. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I'm Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about WrestleMania 41. In particular, we are talking about the Night 1 main event and why it is the wrong choice to main event Night 1. Now, we'll dive into that in just a little bit, but before we do, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below. I'll try to reply to every single one of them as we dive into this. So it was made official on SmackDown last night in London that Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk will indeed main event Night 1. CM Punk finally getting his WrestleMania main event, granted on Night 1, which I don't necessarily think counts as a main event, but that's a story for another video. But they seem to want to class them as two separate main events. If you think of, like, the way I think of it, these two night WrestleManias, you think of the main event, you think of Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, you don't think of The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. You just don't. Like, it sucks. It's how it is looked at, in my opinion. But, like I said, video for another time. But if we are classing both nights as a main event, it's the wrong choice. I wholeheartedly believe it is the wrong choice. Now, they're probably going to add some sort of stipulation onto it. Maybe if CM Punk wins, he gets put in into a triple threat with Cena and Rhodes, but I think that is a bad move because that dilutes the Cody Rhodes and John Cena feud, and it doesn't have a title. I get it. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. They are three of the biggest stars, maybe the biggest stars other than Cody Rhodes and John Cena, that WWE have. You obviously want them in that main event spot. However, I think this is incredibly damaging to the other divisions, and in particular, the Royal Rumble, because neither winner of the Royal Rumble is main eventing WrestleMania. And I think that is a problem. I really do. Granted, the Elimination Chamber winner is main eventing one of them, but the other Elimination Chamber winner isn't. It just so happens that John Cena is. So let's break this down. So in terms of what could have main evented above this, I think, and I genuinely believe this, there are two other matches that should have main evented above the triple threat. And I think it is the women's three-way, Bianca versus Rhea versus Io, and I think it is Jay versus Gunther. Now, Jay versus Gunther, probably going to go on first, I would imagine. Get everyone in a good mood, Jay wins, everyone's eating, and sure, that might be fine, but then you've got the triple threat in the middle, the women's triple threat. I think it is just damaging to the titles that the titles are not in the main event. Instead, it's just a, like, for lack of a better word, generic three-way. Like, there's not really anything on the line here. It's not like the title of the tribal chief is on the line. It's not like there's any sort of stakes that have been established to this match yet. Whereas we have other title matches that could have main evented, and having Night 1 capped off with the women's title and having Night 2 capped off with the men's title adds a little bit of value to that, because right now I feel like, even though yes, there's an Evolution pay-per-view coming, the women in WWE have been so incredibly deserved in terms of their spotlights at WrestleMania. Yes, say what you want about the opening matches, say what you want about that. Not getting main event spots is just ridiculous, particularly when they have been, like, it's not been good, but it's probably been one of the better feuds in WWE at the moment is Io versus Rhea versus Bianca. Like, they deserve that spot. I do think there is something to that, in that it's just being main evented by guys. And you look at some of Triple H's comments, you look at, like, people have to earn it. Dude, you're the booker. You are the booker. You know? Make the women's title match feel important, make it the main event of WrestleMania. Same with Jay versus Gunther. You're all like saying how everyone should be fighting for that spot on WrestleMania and in the main event. Dude, you create it. You're head of creative. You're the one who's giving the people what to do. So I think that argument completely falls down. And I just think it's negligent and a little bit tone deaf. Like, I feel the same way about the women not main eventing WrestleMania that I felt about Toni Storm and Mariah May not main eventing Revolution. It is the match that should. Like, I don't understand why the women, since Triple H have taken over, have not main evented a WrestleMania. Like, come on. Surely we can't be doing this right now. Bianca and Sasha main evented. That was awesome. Rhea and Charlotte probably should have main evented, because that was awesome. Like, there's so many arguments you could make for this not being the main event, and I get it. People are going to throw WrestleMania 18 out there. The Rock versus Hulk Hogan should have main evented above. I think it was Triple H and Jericho. Sure. That was billed as Icon versus Icon. This is just a triple threat. It's not billed as anything. It's a triple threat. No title, no stakes, no gravitas, no greatest match of all time, nothing attached to it. Whereas the titles are sinking. The World Heavyweight Championship's not been booked well. The women's title's not been booked well. The women's WWE Championship that Tiffany Stratton holds, I didn't even mention that because I think it's been booked pretty poorly, that it can't even be in the conversation for main event in WrestleMania, unfortunately, because I love Tiffany Stratton. So I think people just need to sort of take a long, hard look at WWE and sort of just tilt their heads and say, why are we doing this? Like, why aren't the women main eventing? I think that is the biggest issue that I have right now, is that once again the women are not main eventing WrestleMania when there's 2 nights of it. There's 2 effing nights and the women aren't main eventing a single one. Now let's move on to the Royal Rumble. I think this year the Royal Rumble, they took a swing with Jay. People aren't happy with it. People are happy with it. But if you are going to take that swing, commit. You need to commit to it. Give him the main event of WrestleMania. If you're going to commit to Charlotte Flair winning the Royal Rumble, commit. Give her the main event of WrestleMania. Don't call it a main event. They said on commentary loads during the Royal Rumble the winner main event's WrestleMania. Well, they're not. They're not. So, it's bullshit. Why should we care about these things? Why should you feed us all this information for us to then look at it and go, well, you lied to us then? Because they're not. Neither of the Royal Rumble winner is main event in WrestleMania. And it's happened before. It has happened before. WrestleMania 26. I think who won? Was it Edge won? Edge won going into WrestleMania 26. And that was main evented by Michaels versus Taker. But that again had something built to it. Streak versus career. It had stakes. The matches right now, other than Cody Rhodes versus Cena, don't have stakes. So no one can give me a good reason as to why the Royal Rumble winners are not main eventing WrestleMania. I think it is pretty bad, and I want to see it change. I genuinely want to see it change. I genuinely think if you want to just commit to these things, both Royal Rumble winners should main event each night. Because if you're going to say it's the main event, they should. Jay versus Gunther should main event and Tiffany versus Charlotte should main event. You've made that decision. You've made that creative decision. Therefore, follow through with it and give them the main events. At the end of the day, that's what you do as a creative. You need to build up Charlotte and Jay and make them feel like main event stars. If you're going to give them this spotlight, give them this big win. Having probably Tiffany versus Charlotte in the middle of night 2 isn't going to do favours for anyone, because it's probably going to get lost in the shuffle because you've stifled everything and only focused on these 2 things. So I do think it is just the wrong decision, and I'd love to see any other match main event over this. Like, genuinely. Like, most matches on the card, I would rather see main event over Roman versus Seth versus Punk. And that sucks. I'm not necessarily hyped for this year's WrestleMania. I don't think the build's been particularly good. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on why the triple threat should not main event. And I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you not? Let me know and I'll try to reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support and have a nice day.